start teaching a lesson, ask me some questions.
Only because they came to me.
So sorry.
Alright. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Where is everybody?
Yeah, I don't know why no one's here.
That makes sense. It's like most of this class. Yeah.
I thought it was tomorrow.
After this class.
Well, Caleb and Evan left today.
After this
Like
class.
you're robotics, right?
Yeah, they're on the direct team. So they have to get there early.
Okay.
Whoa. Dude.
Well, that's why we have videos. Alright. We're gonna type this into your. So the whole. Here's what we're doing. I'm gonna go through this one with you. Show you how to do all of this stuff on the calculator. But at the end of the day, you don't really learn how to do it unless you do it, and even better if you explain it. So, after I do this one, I'm going to give you time to do this one. I'll put the answers up, we'll check it, we'll make sure you got it, I'll answer questions. And then you're going to explain it to, conveniently, like there's 5 people not here. So you're going to make a video demonstrating how to do every part of step 2. You can split that up with one person if you want. So if your video, there's 8 things you have to find. If you want to make a video where like I find 4, you find 4, that works. If you don't want to record a video, not everyone's into that version, you can type up instructions. If you're typing up instructions, you got to do it by yourself. You can't split that up with someone. So keep that in mind while we're going through that this is your end goal. So turn it on. Does it work now with the batteries? Do you know how to put batteries in the calculator? Sure.
Are you sure? Flip them all the way around.
I don't think that'd be. My calculator thinks it's 1997.
How is there a planner on it?
How do you know that?
Who put your stuff on their planner?
In the date.
There's a date? Oh, so does mine. I didn't know.
Oh, mine's the 1989. I mean 88. No.
Alright, do you guys have these like icons here? So like your apps?
Yes. Oh, there.
If you don't have them, hit the button that says apps.
Oh, mine's 1997.
There's a button that says apps right here. Where my fingers tap, tap, tap. And then you get this kind of half screen. And we want to go to home. You can just set some of that there. And then we want to graph it. So your graph, the Y equals button is up here. So there's like 2 shift keys. There's the blue, like the light blue, and then the diamond, which is mine's yellow. I don't know about you guys. But I want the Y equals, so I'm going to hit the diamond and then Y equals. And then I'm going to clear out the equation that's in there. You guys have equations in.
Hey.
Right here. So hit the diamond and then Y. Are we good?
Yes, sure.
You with me? Stop me if you're not, because I'm going to keep going and you're just going to get further lost. Okay, type it in. X to the second minus 4x minus 5. Hit enter.
Check, it's right below.
I don't know. I think that's a press.
Press enter.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Oh, just kidding.
Wait.
Oh, shoot.
I can't find anything on this.
What are you looking for?
How to like research it.
So there's a to the button. The to the button is over here above the division sign.
Oh wait.
Yeah, there's a squared button also. I think. Are we good? Everybody at this step? Should we wait for Delaney?
Yeah.
Take that. And then do your calculator? Get that out. See how quickly you can catch up to us. Come on, Iggy, go. Trent, does your calculator work at one point? So I gave you a working calculator, and you returned me a broken calculator. Is this what's happening here? Take one of those. Get your calculator. Hurry up. We'll wait for you. Hit the diamond and then F1. And that's you choosing Y equals. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I was a step ahead. Thank you, Anna. First, you gotta go to the apps, and then you go home. Does it automatically go to the apps? Not true. Well, it goes maybe to where you last were. Goodness gracious! Ryan, come get this piece of paper. Hurry the F up. Type in what's on
Whoa! Whoa!
my third restart.
Hurry the FX up.
Hurry the F of X up. Somebody catch Ryan up quickly before my head explodes.
Wait till Devin.
Yeah, so in like 30 seconds, Devin's gonna walk in. And then 5 minutes. Don't ask Ryan the date on his calculator. We're in a hurry. We're trying to catch things up here. And then in 5 minutes, Caleb will walk in. And 5 minutes after that, Kylie will walk in. Is Oscar here yet? Hi, Oscar. Riley, I know is not going to be here. Iggy, are you good? Yeah. Kenzie, are you good? Okay. Caleb will not be here.
Do you know Mexican Coke is alive? What? It's not what made with real sugar. It's a big one.
Is this what he's like all day long outside of school too?
He asked back to a random question. I asked him like his favorite. Like yesterday, I asked him his favorite coffee.
Like, are you in the middle of a soccer, like districts in the soccer game, and everyone's tense, and you just turn to the ref and you're like,
I asked for ice.
do you like pancakes?
I asked him for ice in the middle, like to just eat.
Ryan, I apologize for my outburst. I'm not mad at you specifically. I'm not really mad at anybody. It was just fun to get frustrated.
He's mad at me.
Ah.
He just doesn't want to say it. Alright. Wait till you type it in. Yeah. Mackenzie, did you type it in? We're starting? Yeah, we're good.
Isn't that nice that Ben's so concerned about you guys learning and success? Yeah. Okay. Ryan, are you good? Alright, so now it's time for the TI-89 to shine. So we are going to go, we want to graph it. How do you think I can graph it? There's a graph button.
Diamond graph.
Yeah, but it's yellow, right? So is your diamond yellow too?
It's like green. It's like a greenish. It's like
Is it the same color as mine?
Wow.
That's green?
No, not really. Yeah, no, to me that's green. Okay, graphed it.
Anyway, graph it.
It's a very light green. And there's an empty graph. Oh wow, look at that thing. Oh, mine's like it's like a skidoo green.
Okay, so now everyone's probably in like different zooms, out or in.
My
So,
calculator just died.
God. Hit F2, because F2 is zoom. We want to zoom standard. STD is for standard, not sexually transmitted disease. Zoom standard, it should show us like all the same view at this point. Yes?
Yeah. Oh wait, yep. Yeah, it like had to show up and then show up.
There's a brief second of panic and then you're okay. Everybody good here?
Oh, we're back. That's what you're doing. Food batteries.
You good?
Can I have a pack?
So we cannot do part A on this screen. We can do part B. So find the value of the derivative when x equals 1.2. Like you could do that on this equation fairly simply, right? Because it's just like 2x minus 4, plug it in. But on the, it does little things like cosecant of tan x squared to the find the derivative at x equals whatever. So if you hit F5 for math, you get all these options up here. Value would be like, if I want to find what the value is when x is 2, I would just type in 2 and it would tell me the y value that I get at that spot. It's not what we're looking for here. Zeros are x-intercepts. We could do min and max. We could do an intersection with another line. Go to derivatives and hit the right arrow. You'll get the dy dx. Hit enter. And then it says dy dx at question mark. You type in 1.2 and hit enter. Derivative is negative 1.6. So we just found out is that y prime of 1.2 equals negative 1.6. Does that make sense how I did that? We good there? Show you how I wrote it. I need like a second whiteboard. Okay. Find the minimum y value and the x value where it occurs. So at 5, minimum, and it's going to ask you for lower bounds and upper bounds. Those are lower and upper x values. So our minimum is approximately there, right? So for the lower bound, you want to go somewhere on the left of it and hit enter. And then move your cursor somewhere to the right of it and hit enter. And you're kind of telling it, I know it's in between those two spots. Look in the middle. Find out where the lowest point is.
2.
So I get, so what's the minimum y value? What's the minimum y value? Where does it occur? At x equals 2. Does that make sense how I'm doing that? Same thing for max, but this graph doesn't have a max. Because whenever you say, remember that, like whenever you say is the biggest number, I can just say no, what about one more? You can say no, what about one more? Alright, find the equation of the tangent line. F5. I'm scrolling down. Tangent. A says tangent. With me? Tangent at what? Well, I want to know the tangent at negative 1. So instead of taking the derivative and doing all that stuff, it finds it, it draws it, which is kind of cool. And you should get y equals negative 6x minus 6. Okay, Ethan? Worried me for a second. You got another creep on the pad.
I know.
Good? What's up, Raj? For, like, do that whole thing again, you're saying?
Yeah.
F5. Scroll down. You said, yeah, sure. Scroll down to tangent, which is A. And then it's going to say where do you want the tangent. You just type in the x value that I gave you, which is negative 1. Good? Next one says find x-intercepts. Which one of these things is x-intercepts?
Intersection.
No, not zeros. Because if you're on the x-axis, the y value is 0. So it's the lower bound, upper bound thing again, and you gotta do this twice. So you're gonna do lower bound, like we want that spot. So lower bound is like over here, upper bound is over there. Find that spot, and then you start over, and you gotta do it again over there. So I'm gonna go 0, so lower bound, I'm gonna go a little bit to the left. Remember, the bound is x value. It has nothing to do with above or below the axis, just left or right. So I'm to the left of that x-intercept, now to the right of that x-intercept. So it tells me the x-intercept is negative 1. Ready? Can I throw these at you?
Yeah.
If you miss, it's gonna hit your face. Nice. And then the other one. So just do F5 again. 0. How you doing, Trent? Scroll to the left of it. Scroll to the right of it. And you should get x equals 5. So I'm just showing you the answers here.
Yep, I got x equals 5.
Thanks for telling. Thanks for sharing.
Yep.
You really, we're all dying to know. Good there? Integral from 1 to 4. So F5. Integral number 7. Integrate f of x. It's going to say what's the lower limit. The lower limit is 1. Upper limit. So I'm just typing in 1 and typing in 4. And then it's going to shade it for me. Tell me the area. I think Mr. Shin ordered one.
Wait, is it 1 and 5? No, it's 1 and 4.
That's it. What did I do?
1 and 4.
Okay, so what's 5? Where'd the 5 come from?
Wait, why is it 4?
Because it says on the paper 1 to 4.
Oh, did not see that.
Kenzie? I'm sorry that that 1 to 4 conversation took so long that your question got ignored.
I'm so sorry.
That was
Oh, really?
Yeah, Kenzie. You.
Did you think it was a 5 also?
I didn't even
I
read
just
the
didn't
paper.
know where you got, like, what numbers we were.
Oh, okay. I mean, if I were like really writing it, it'd be like the integral of x.
We're gonna have a test. No, man, we're just doing it for funsies.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Are we good?
Funsies then.
Alright, so the other two, the find the derivative and the find the indefinite integral, you don't do from the graph. You do from like the main menu, so we're going to shift gears. So if you want to hit apps again,
Apps.
and then home. And this is kind of nice too, if you hit F1 and then 8, it just clears all that out. It doesn't really matter, it just kind of like looks nicer. Okay, so we want, are you guys with me? F3 is calculus. So hit differentiate, because we're going to take the derivative of that equation. And then you type in that equation. So you literally type it in x squared, like you don't need the y equals part. So x to the second minus 4x minus 5, and then you put comma x. So you're kind of telling the calculator, here's the equation, and then here's the variable that you are going to take the derivative of. So I got 2x minus 4. You didn't type in what I told you to. You said comma what? You did comma 1?
Oh,
Comma x.
I got 2x minus 4.
Me too.
That's the answer, right?
I mean, you can take the derivative of that like by hand, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying to use this to demonstrate for. Okay, if you get somewhere, you gotta look at it. The comma button is above the 9, right above the 9. Right above the 6. Yep.
That's correct.
Sure, you got that, John?
Yeah.
Well, it's really easy, well, I did, so.
Wait, you did like the whole thing twice?
Yep. So, more than twice.
Yeah, because then if you got different answers,
Cause I got different answers
you gotta keep going.
for the, what was the cosine or, that wasn't sine? I got two different answers. The zero one?
There you go.
It's the first time.
Nothing. It was like storing a variable in there that you didn't need to.
First
So
time.
what, I'm good now?
You're good now.
So since it had an x cosine.
Alright, Ethan, you're gonna tell the story later.
Okay,
We're gonna move on now.
okay,
That's alright with you.
I can do that. Okay.
Number 3, or the very bottom one, find the indefinite integral. We just did the top one, it was 2x minus 4. And then the indefinite integral, you can probably guess it's going to integrate. And then type in x squared minus 4x minus 5. Again, put comma x. And it will integrate it. It does not remember to put the plus c. So you need to remember that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then another little trick here, I can never remember the order, but I'm pretty sure it goes x, and then you can definite integrate from here too. Yeah, so I just typed two different ways. The top one up there is the indefinite integral. So I typed just the equation and then x. But you can also do a definite integral. So if you look what I typed in for that one, I just put comma 1, comma 4 at the end of it. And then it tells me negative 24. So that's the same thing as if you went to the graph and like it had it shaded. Alright? Do we go through any of those again? You guys try to, I'll put the answers up to make sure that you are getting what you're supposed to, and then you gotta do the piece where you explain it to some of the best parts.
And you better agree, I'll slow it down.
There's a scale.
Back arrow.
So, okay, so for this one, there's gonna be three,
You want to reconsider your question and get back to me when
there's
you?
gonna be three, zeros. X values.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Wait, so you go to, okay, wait, how do you graph again? You go to graph,
Yeah, Texas.
how do you put in new y values all the time?
That's just spamming question.
Hey, Zach. Thanks, Zach. Just want to say hey. Zach?
Wait.
C. C. 27. Not a line anymore. Where's she from? You're wrong. 1.76. 1.76.
No. Jack.
87.
Let's put the upper knot or lower knot.
How you find Cam?
Max is
No, that's the X line. 28 is the. My number C is what?
Yeah.
D for number 2, D is giving me like a crazy. Whatever.
Did you say for number 2?
D for number 2.
D for number 2.
Yeah, it's giving me like a crazy.
You didn't get this.
No, I got some really weird outlines, but.
Oh, okay.
Which one's that one? It's oh wait, 7.
Inflection.
What do you do for different?
Just find that.
What is that?
So that's what I got. So your job is to first make sure you match with what I got. And then get into your, you either got to make me a video explaining and demonstrating all of that, or type up instructions to teach me how to do all that.
It's like our